Hello, everybody. Welcome to the session. My name is Manju Devdas. I'm the founder CEO of Pluto 7. We are an AI platform company and we work with some amazing customers. And today we have one such customer, California Design Den. With me, it's a pleasure and honor for me to have Deepak Mehrotra from California Design Den join us. He is the founder CEO of California Design Den and has been around in this business for multiple decades. He comes with an amazing background of not only running the business across many regions and verticals, but also has seen how e commerce business has evolved from the pre .com era to where it is today. With that, let me welcome Deepak. Deepak,
Hi, this is Deepak Mehrotra, founder of California Design Den. We are a direct-to-consumer bedding brand focusing on natural, sustainable bedding. We are one of the leading brands in the US. And since our launch in 2017 as a brand, we have expanded to multiple countries outside the US as well. Being an e-commerce direct-to-consumer brand, we are on multiple marketplaces as well as our own website. Having tons of data and trying to figure out how to deal with it is not new for us. We have over 1,600 SKUs selling across the continents. We have our own family-owned and run manufacturing facility in India that we have operated for 2 decades. And all that does more fun stuff in terms of managing the complete vertical. So I'm delighted to be here, and I'll do my best to share whatever I could that will benefit the listeners.
Deepak, that's fascinating. And over the last many years, and specifically around 8 years since we have been working with you, and it's not just the technology aspect that you adopted, even the business, the way you have evolved and grown the business from the pre e-commerce days to brick and mortar to the e-commerce days, and now it's like digital data enabled business. What's fascinating is California Design Den, multiple award winners, and I can't even list the number of awards your team has won, from CNN to many such world-renowned awards that you've received. Now, tell us, to our audience, what your business journey has been in all these years, right? How did you determine these transitions? How did you determine what you need, as in you need this kind of change in your business strategy, this kind of change in your technology strategy? Help us understand with your journey.
Sure. So, as a business, we started almost 2 decades back, manufacturing private label products for a lot of retailers in North America. And then in 2017, as the landscape was changing, that's when we launched California Design Den, um, direct-to-consumer brand. We went on multiple marketplaces. Because we owned our own facilities, we were able to, produce a lot of product, a lot of, primarily if you talk about a product, let's say, it's bed sheets, right? So luxury cotton bed sheets. So, multiple thread counts, price points, colors, sizes, and what have you. And quickly the SKUs added up. So we started to, have build this complexity of having multiple marketplaces, multiple SKUs, um, of course, everything selling at a different rate. And as the business grew, it became very evident that Excel sheet ain't going to work. So we will not be able to manage a business just by hiring more and more people who will all work on Excel sheets. Um, or because that's with complexity, that's going to lead to errors and delays and what have you. I guess everyone has gone through that journey and knows about it. I think the big thing was when we started to put our data in one place, and again selling in multiple places, all that data coming in, coming into that data lake that we built on Google Cloud, um, and then being able to build on top of that the basic dashboarding, taking it further to analytics, deploying some models for running, ML for ordering, for demand forecasting or supply chain. So, that journey has been um, an exciting journey, a challenging journey at the same time. And I think as an organization, um, we have been able to make quicker decisions, more nimble decisions, which I think is a key for any e-commerce, right? In a very competitive environment, unless an organization is able to, have visibility and be able to, drop scenarios and take decisions, it's not going to work. So yeah, that has been, kind of the journey for us.
That's amazing, Deepak. I think you emphasize some very key elements, many elements, or any many key golden nuggets that our audience can pick among. I'll pick a few of them, especially the last few points that you mentioned, which is around the being nimble to be able to make decisions, reduce the errors, and um, Excel is a great tool. It served its purpose, but at the same time, it has its drawbacks. So you've kind of navigated through that, and along with the changing market and business, you evolved your technology landscape. You're one of our first customers who explored planning in a box, and then went about building a data foundation on Google Cloud, and started centralizing the data as a build, and kept modifying that to solve the problems like inventory, demand, and various aspects, especially the inventory, which matters a lot. Now, Deepak, no technology gets adopted for the sake of technology. It's always to solve a business problem. Let's take the inventory problem. What's the business value that you saw before all of this versus where you are today? And what's the business impact you saw?
Sure. Look, as far as system is concerned, talking about the impact, you're right. We build something, and with changes that happen beyond our controls, as well as where we influence and within our controls, this system build requires constant fine tuning, right? Constant work. So I guess that was one of the things that kind of caught us off guard. We thought once we build it, we never have to touch it. So that's not the case. Um, and also talking about spreadsheets, while most of the work that is repetitive um, is is required for quicker decision making, is now on dashboards and what have you built of data. It's not that spreadsheets are never used. Sure, one-offs, they are a good tool, as you said. Now, to answer your question related to um, to the part of inventory and the business value that we got, as a retailer, right? Um, if we buy the wrong product, right, all the little money that we make as a retailer will go away, right? That's the simplest way to put things, right? So it becomes very critical for us to have a, a system wherein the sales that we are having across multiple channels, right, on an is live and real, right? The inventory that we have in multiple locations across the country, across the globe, is also visible and real. The tons of containers that are floating in the ocean, as in on ships, not literally floating, on ships coming to various distribution centers, there is visibility to that. So without having all that, in a click of a button, I think the scale at where we are today, I think we could have never reached here, or we could have actually, frankly, shut down if we didn't have all the data in the right place at the right time. As a retailer, I know I'm repeating this, but being able to buy the right product at the right time in the right quantity is the make it or break it game. So we have been able to do that over the years, right? It has been a lot of learning, right? Over the years, in a way that we are in stock in high 90s. Our inventory levels are as per our open to buy dollars, aka the cash that we have, and we are able to fulfill the demand that we have uh, without breaking the bank. I guess that's pretty much what it is.
I like the simplicity with which you stated, Deepak. Many times, companies use big words like we transform the business, digital transformation, and so on. Ultimately, it comes down to the few things that you said, which is market changes, economic situation changes, you're selling. With the how well do you use your capital to buy the right products? You buy the wrong product, like you said, the margins and profits are lost. And it comes down to what sounds very basic is incredibly complex, right, in your ecosystems, because just the inventory visibility in a common centralized location where at a click of a button, as you've said, if you don't have that, these are real goods moving on ships, containers, and sitting in warehouses, and wrong decisions means money not used properly or money lost, right? So and talking about these transformations, right? And if I can build on what you just said, you transformed your business, you saw the business value out of it, so that now you're able to position your inventory better. And in this journey, through the combination of Google Cloud and Planning in a Box and our domain knowledge and our services, it's been great to partner and see you evolve through this journey. Now, in all of this, obviously, Deepak, California Design Den has always been proactive in exploring technologies, right? And of course, you deal with a lot of commerce platforms, e-commerce platform. They are advanced technology algorithms running. You're in the forefront of those, whether it's the ad spend or how these e-commerce Shopify's and the Amazons and the Walmart.com, all these work. You also built a technology capability that became a backbone for your business. Now, my next question is, help me understand how you make all these selections with these technology capabilities. There is no shortage of the world about AI everywhere these days. That is not the case a few years back. And at the same time, there are practical aspects that you have seen on what works, what doesn't work. At the same time, what foundation needs to be there, whether it's data governance, data quality, or making sure your people are up to speed. Help our audience understand what are the things that they should learn based on your experience as best practices.
Sure. I think I'll pick up from some of the last words you used, which is like data quality, data governance. Um, because in our case, we deal with many platforms, right? Where our sales happen. And we have connections with those partners, whether through an API and what have you, right? How we get our data. So invariably, you're talking about a lot of SKUs, multiple platforms, um, multiple levels of data or tables of data and what have you, right? Whether it's sales or advertising spend or inventory or tons of it, right? So something or the other keeps breaking, right? Not generally in our system, generally, although that can also happen or has happened, but from the partner's point of view, right? From the selling marketplace, they may tweak something or they may have some delays, and then what happens is, our database, right, goes crazy, or our decision making becomes inaccurate. So we have learned this over years that despite having a system which we use, we have built in the redundancy of having someone doing a quick maths if I'm just going to say if the totals are matching, right? I mean, having few data points that one can quickly verify to make sure things are in order, right? And then there are no large differences. If there are large differences, we need to root cause what happened, what's going on. So I guess hindsight, I thought, that once this is all built and, of course, we test it and we take the bugs out, that's normal. Um, Once it's done. But I don't think it's done. That's it. Because something or the other keeps changing. Then even from our side, right? We start to realize over a period of time, hey, for this decision making, we need this data as well. And we realize, okay, we are bringing this data. Is it as granular as we need? And then, there is some work around it, right? So, so it's not that. So there is always some moving parts, right? So there is always some work there. There is not always, but there is often something breaking down or delayed that one needs to catch. So that's one part of the business which I find is messy, but I guess it's just a necessary thing. That's the way it is. Um, then apart from that, the use of the word ML and AI, and we have been on the forefront. We have always tried to deploy, a lot of models, whether it was demand forecasting and, then COVID threw everything off, right? Whose forecasting is going to work then, right? And then the hangover crash after a year of COVID, when once things kind of settled down, that also threw everyone's model away. I guess the overall thing for us is that while we continue to test different models, use models, um, where data is large, like zooming out, right? I don't think we are big enough where we can run those kind of models on very granular skews or decisions. So that's something that we have, of course, learned over years, right? Um, we realize, those granular kind of decisions are rather easy to take on a basic, algorithmic or, rule-based decision making. So that was the other learning that we had, that while we have all the data, it's in one lake, and sure, someone can tell us, hey, we can put some ML model on it, but the history or the size of data, it may not still be uh, large enough for us to have meaningful results. In many places, some places we do. And then, again, the risk reward, right? I mean, with with us being in such a competitive market space, right? Okay, what accuracy level is good enough, right? We can keep chasing higher accuracy, higher accuracy, higher accuracy, but at what cost, right? And if we can get, you know, an acceptable accuracy level and build certain redundancies, let's say in case of inventory, right? How accurate one needs to have demand forecasting. If you're running e-commerce in multiple marketplaces, online, what have you, it's kind of hard, you know, on demand forecasting. So we can zoom out and then do kind of macro level forecasting of it, right? Let's say about our fabric rather than a SKU level, right? So that is more reliable. So we do that, which we are doing. And then on a SKU level, we build models based on historical data, based on algorithms, based on our earlier learnings, and then use the data and real-time visibility and you know, uh, basic arithmetic to come up with what needs to leave the factory every week, every other week, or the DCs, right? So, so not every solution needs to be MLAI driven, and a lot of it can be simply solved by building it a little bit of redundancy. But for all of that, we still need to have good visibility of data.
Yeah, Deepak, very well said. I think there's our audience, as they listen to you, they'll be saving a lot of money for themselves if they do apply some of these practical advices. If I can recap what I heard from you is get the foundation right. Make sure you have good data governance, data quality, because that matters. It doesn't matter whether you run a rule-based system or a formula or a machine learning model. All of them rely on that. Second, what I heard is you don't need more very complex, in sophisticated AI algorithms. Based on what accuracy are you looking at what cost? You can have simple machine learning AI models, and in some cases, you might want to still do it based on pivot tables, right? Or sitting, but you still have a centralized, well-governed data set that you can rely on. That still has value. And the third thing I heard is you do need to have human in the loop to verify whether the pipelines, the data pipelines are working, the model pipelines are working. Things do break. because the source changed. Your partner is sending new columns or new data, or you are trying to add new data. So it's a constant evolving data pipeline and model pipelines that you're managing because your business is changing. So is your data. So the last but not least is it's a journey. It's not a one time done and wrapped up. So and it'll keep working forever. It's constant iterative journey and which you keep evolving. With that, Deepak, this has been amazing. Is there any last pieces of advice that you want to give to our audience who is just getting on this journey, either new or they're in the early stage compared to where you are? You've been on this journey for 5, 6 years plus now.
Sure. I think, look, we all know uh, how the future is evolving, right? We have all used large language models like ChatGPT, right? Whether for fun or, now in businesses, right? We know that is only going to improve, right? And it's only a matter of time that many of that will be productively used in workplaces, right? So having said that, I mean, we feel very excited that because we took this journey early on, we have tons of our data sitting in one place, right? And a mechanism and a process and a team to ensure there is governance and clean data available and that we have good visibility. Um, so now with this, the fun of large language models, it is only a matter of time that we'll be able to, democratize question and answers that any team member may have, right? Rather than static dashboards or, fixed dashboards, right? And even intelligence will evolve with it. So that means as a business owner, I'll be able to, come up with some ideas or questions that are you know rather complex or off the thought, and then get an answer or get close to an answer rather than sending it to the data science team and they're figuring it out, and someone running a query and what have you, right? I'm just giving the old school versus what at least we are seeing in future. I mean, nothing new, we've all read it. And I think the one advice that I have for people is to you know ensure they have the data in one place. Even if they feel that it's an overkill right now, I think it's important to get on this train sooner than later. Um, and I feel companies that or brands that will not do that may have hard time being relevant in future. Yeah,
Very well
I think
said.
it's a matter of competitive advantage. Yeah,
Yep, very well said, Deepak. It's a competitive advantage. Centralizing data is important. Building governance is important. As we work with our customers, enabling planning in a box, and like you said, large language models are evolving. AI is going to keep evolving. The way users are going to ask the question and get the answer, the quality is going to keep going up. But it still requires centralizing the data. Even if you use external data and external searches, you still need to make sure your enterprise data is in one place or business data is in one place. And our customers, as we evolve planning in a box and the Pi agent or the planning intelligence agent, enabling all these LLMs and all these capabilities, we are keeping that in our mind as well. With that, thank you for being an amazing customer and a partner with us, Pluto 7, as well as Google Cloud. And with that, thank you, audience, for listening to us and looking forward to hearing your journey as well. Thank you and have a great day. Thank you, Deepak.
thank you, Manju. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.